Well, welcome back to the program. It's great to have your company on this Monday morning. Well, a new week and even tougher new social distancing measures to combat COVID-19. The PM announcing last night public gatherings limited to 2 people. Over 70s urged to stay at home completely, while every Australian is advised to venture out for essential trips only. One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson, and Nine's political editor, Chris Uhlmann in Canberra, joining me right now. Good morning to you. It's great to have your company this morning. Pauline, to you first of all. It's tough, but is it tough enough?
It's pretty tough measures, and considering the cases that we've had, I think we've hit 4,000 and 16 deaths. We don't want to head down the same path as Italy, so, you know, I hope it's the right move. My concern, again, as I keep saying, is the economy. Are we going to recover from this? How long will it take? And I hope people abide by this so we can get over it. And you know, I'm in this boat. I'm very concerned about it as my daughter in Tasmania. And she's got respiratory problems, and they can't test her whether it's pneumonia or whether it's COVID-19 because there's no test kits. So the doctors are very frustrated about it, and I'm very concerned for her as well. So if it's pneumonia, they can't put her into the ICU because she might get infected with COVID-19. So I hope they get some test kits and let people know whether they have got it or not.
Gee, that's got to be a big worry for you, Pauline. Is she all right?
She's struggling to breathe. They've actually put her on steroids, so and you know they can't send her for X-rays, so it's pretty tough. And I can't get to Tasmania, so it's just so I understand what people are going through. Those people that have lost their loved ones, I understand, and I'm very concerned for her health. And I just hope they get some test kits so we know what's going on, because she's 36 and got 2 young children, and she doesn't have any help. So I really would like to get down to try and help her.
But you feel isolated, you can't really travel, you're going to get isolated again, you go to quarantine if you go there, all sorts of dramas.
Yeah, I know. So it is tough on a lot of people, and this is why closing the borders, for parents like myself who need to be there to help their kids. So it's really tough on a lot of people, and I understand it. And I understand that we need to get over this as quick as we possibly can.
Okay, I feel that pain.
So it's very hard on people on all rounds.
Yeah, I feel your pain. Chris, there is a fair bit of division within the business community this morning as well. We just heard the AMP chief economist saying, shut down now, short-term pain, fingers crossed, long-term gain, but hard to see the other side when you don't know how long it's going to be.
Well, one of the things that no one can answer when I ask them about a shutdown, what's the magic number about 2 weeks, Karl? What makes you think that in 2 weeks' time this would all be done and we could all come out and then we'd be on top of it? Because if you look at the lockdowns around the world and type in lockdown and extension into your Google search engine and see what's happening around the world, is that it keeps getting extended everywhere. I think people have to get it into their head that we're in this for the long haul. Who actually thinks that there'll be international travel again by the end of the year? Who actually thinks that the schools will be going back after they leave for this term by the end of the year? Look, we've got to wait for a vaccine, and that's 12 to 18 months away, or some sort of treatment that helps us. But at this stage, what we're doing is trying to stop our hospital system from being overwhelmed, trying to moderate the passage of people through intensive care units. And in the end, I'm afraid, Karl, most Australians are going to have to be exposed to this disease if we're going to get any sort of immunity to it.
Okay, there is, I think, a level of good news moving in the right direction. At least the Treasurer will today announce a big crackdown on foreign raiders looking to use the coronavirus crisis to snap up struggling Aussie firms and buy goods on the cheap. We understand that a number of Chinese firms and companies were looking to do just that. This comes after The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald revealed Chinese companies have been buying up these essential medical supplies and shipping them back home. Pauline, you're up.
Karl, I brought this to the attention of the public over a week ago about Foreign Investment Review Board, and prior to that, it's a joke, it's a tick and flick, and it's about time the government did something about it. And as I said, a fire sale, a lot of companies will be shutting down. They'll be looking for investments. Foreign investors will want to come in here and snap them up, as is happening. As I said, and I said this a long time ago, if we are in a crisis in Australia, when you have these foreign-owned companies in Australia, like Paddock to Plate and Dairy and whatever they own, we can't stop them from sending back to their own country, even though Australia needs it. They won't do it in our best interests, and I have been saying this for years and years. I hope this is awakening for the Australian government. They're going to put on, they're going to make it 0 level, but they're going to extend the period now to about 6 months so they can still buy up Australia. Australians are fed up with it. They're sick and tired of seeing our assets being sold to foreign investors. They don't pay tax in this country. They're registered in another country and pay their taxes there. We have to stop selling off our prime agricultural land, our companies, our businesses, our industries, and I hope the government gets behind some Australians now who want to start up industries and manufacturing to supply our own needs.
Here. There's no argument from me in regards to that. Chris, the issue is going to be in the next couple of months the number of these companies aren't going to be able to afford to stay open, so they're going to say, well, hang on, if we don't sell part of the company or at least the majority of it, then jobs are going to go.
Well, the government's now looking at trying to pay the wages of all those people who might lose their jobs. Karl, the whole world will change after this pandemic, and the world might start this year by talking about social distancing. At the end, we'll be talking about sovereign capability, that we need to be able to make things in this country, and key among those are pharmaceuticals, medical equipment, ventilators, all the things that we need to realise that we actually are an island, I think, and that we can't rely on anyone else in the world when push comes to shove. Look at what's happening even inside Europe at the moment, where countries are essentially looking after their own interests now. So the world is about to change quite dramatically, Karl, and I think you'll find that there'll be a rise in a sense of nationalism about Australia, that there'll be a rise in a demand from people to make sure that we are never exposed again to just-in-time supply chains when we're right at the back end of that queue.
Agree. We must look after our own, we must protect our own, and we must make our own and keep it here. We'll be speaking to the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, in the next half an hour about this. Just one final one, a message to some of the people cooped up in quarantine in five-star hotels after arriving home from abroad. Stop your bloody whinging. Pauline, it's a sensible precaution, right? But people have got to stop complaining, don't they?
Oh, where's the tissues? Give me a tissue, my God. I feel sorry for the poor buggers. You know, people out there are doing it tough now. If you're over 70, you're supposed to stay home. What I hear, they're in five-star accommodation. Yeah, I'm with you, Karl. Stop your bloody whinging.
Chris?
Karl, in the lottery of life, somebody got the Intercontinental and someone else got Formula One, and I can understand why you're probably a little bit disappointed if you end up in the postage stamp size hotel room. So, look, you know, 2 weeks seems like a long time, but it's short time in the scheme of things, and it's for everyone's good.
Good to talk to you too. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it. Have a good week or day. Well, plenty more still to come, including